Today on WomenUP, we have an insightful interview on Untold Stories.
And I was engaged to be married for the second time. I had like about maybe 300 person on this. My wedding dress was bought, hotel book, everything in place. And I got an email from my then fiance that just changed everything.
And we have to hear what Doc says about this interview.
Sometimes when things happen to us that impacts us psychologically, we think we're the only person in the world going through this particular thing. Understand that there are other persons who are out there. You are not alone.
Plus, we move on to our Biz Spotlight.
So you see the money flowing from
Yes!
Then, our host and co-hosts get down to fun and games with the Just Dweet challenge of the day.
As much as it's chop and here talking like one.
And of course, our takeaways, or as we call them, notable nuggets. Welcome to WomenUP. Hello everyone, how you do? I'm Kenisha, your host, and welcome to WomenUP, the talk show that promises to keep it real and relatable. If you missed our last episode, please head over to our channel and watch right after. My fabulous co-hosts and I are looking forward to an incredible time with you again. First up, we have Dom Marley. Next, we have Cassandra. And our guest co-host for today is Anya Jean. Let's make her welcome. Hey, Anya. How are you? Looking gorgeous.
Thank you.
No, by the way, girls, you all look fab.
Thank you. Thank you. So do you.
Thank you.
Okay, we are back and we are ready for an awesome time with you.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Please remember to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Share with 5 women. Take 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember to stay connected to this community because a lot is happening, right? Yeah. All right, and ensure that you go over to our Instagram and Facebook pages and follow so that you can keep up to date with what's happening on WomenUP.
Look here, WomenUP Nation. Are you ready for some woman-to-woman chat? Hello?
Yes.
We're ready.
Woman to woman. Today we have C. Ruth Taylor with us, sharing a deeply personal and inspiring story from heartbreak to wholesomeness.
We will explore the complexities of relationship heartbreak, the strength of being single, saved, and the remarkable process of becoming whole once again. Our guest Ruth will share her story of resilience, faith, and personal growth, offering hope to those who have faced similar challenges. Join us as we embark on a heartfelt conversation about healing, self-discovery, and the incredible transformation from heartbreak to wholesomeness. Let's welcome Ruth Taylor.
Hey Ruth, thank you so much for joining us on WomenUP to share your story. We are truly grateful to have you here. So you were on the brink of getting married and everything fell through. Tell us a little more about that.
Okay. Well, just about 10 years ago, as you mentioned, I was engaged to be married for the second time.
Wow.
And it was about December, the season where, families coming together and everything. And I got an email from my then fiance that just changed everything.
Yes.
And so with that email, I recognized that this isn't going to work. And we tried to see how we could make things work. Mm-hmm. And then in the new year, I realized that he's not coming back. He's going to stay where he is.
Yeah.
And this relationship is over. And it really left me devastated because I had gone public with this relationship. So my Facebook was painted red.
Yes.
And when I'm in love, I write poems, so poetry and all kind of things. As I said, my Facebook was painted red. And then I had gone on a mission trip to Namibia and Zambia. And on my way back, I had reconciled with my dad just about the year before, and I invited my dad to the wedding, and I invited family, and we were going to have. I had like about maybe 300 person on this wedding
That was a
list.
big wedding.
My wedding dress was bought, hotel booked, everything in place, and so it was embarrassing, and I really felt bad. And I remember when it happened, I was talking to one of my best friends, and I was like, I don't know. I was angry. I'm a Christian, but at the time I was so angry. I said, God, I hate you, and I hate him, and I just want to go to my bed and just don't wake up. So in the morning when I woke up, I was like, why am I still here? And, you know, it was in that season that God, you know, revealed to me, well, I'm giving you more time than you want because I want you to go the extra mile. And then began the healing process. So my best friends, they invited me to Portland for Christmas, just a couple of days to just cool out and think it through and that kind of thing. So that's what happened in the immediacy of the situation. Thank God for friends.
Yes, thank God indeed.
Thank God for friends. You mentioned that you got an email, but we're curious to know what exactly went wrong. Where did it go wrong? Why? What led up to this email, this mysterious email?
You'd have to ask him. I honestly don't know because I thought things were going well. I was a little slow when we got engaged in terms of planning the wedding and stuff. And he was like, you're a planner. Why aren't you moving a little faster? And so we did a little Jewish betrothal to, that is, in the Jewish culture, you actually have like a two-part wedding thing. So Reverend Dunbar was actually one of the persons who signed this document. So all that was left, in like a Jewish context, we're not Jews, but we wanted something to symbolize how serious this was. All that was left is for him to come back and we have the ceremony. And so this was kind of like signed, sealed, and done. So I did not expect that, but maybe because it's a long distance relationship, sometimes stuff happens and you see people and you experience things. I can only guess.
So Ruth, you mentioned anger.
Oh gosh, yes.
Walk me through the moment you read that email, the feelings and the emotions you were processing in that moment. Understanding that this is what, second time around?
Yeah.
Walk me through that.
It's kind of difficult because it's 10 years ago and I don't feel it, but I remember at the time talking to my best friend Tadisi, and I was like, I can't believe this, you know. Why would he be so capricious? I was like, you know, so I was very angry. And like I said, I said to God, I hate you, I hate him, and I can't bother. You know, and I just wanted to die. Not suicidal. I said to God, just don't let me wake up. So it was embarrassing, and it was, because you know, you have to go back to tell everybody that this is not going to be. And then because I was engaged before, and then it didn't happen. You know, all them kind of something that you feel like, say you're cursed.
Were you questioning yourself?
Yeah. Question yourself, your salt.
Am I enough?
Am I enough?
Yeah,
you
so
know, so it's
self-esteem issues.
and then to be honest, because I'm dark skinned, and then the person that he eventually married is light skinned, it brought back all that kind of, you know, colorism. He eventually got married to a Mexican girl. So it brought back stuff because you grew up thinking that because you're dark skinned, you're not good enough. And here again, you know, another incident of somebody that I fall in love with leaving me for somebody of a lighter complexion, that kind of thing, long hair stuff. And so you kind of feel like you're not enough, you know, and that kind of thing. So there was all of that, the embarrassment, the anger. How could you do this to me, God, you know? That kind of thing.
You said that you were devastated. You went to bed and you said, God, nobody wake me up because you don't know what you were about to face. And you said the embarrassment. But what did you do to change your mindset from a state of brokenness to triumph?
Okay. Well, it's not a single thing. When I was in Namibia, the October before, we had gone through some what we call family foundations. So I was already going through a healing process for childhood trauma, and I began to understand my identity and what led me to be the way I was growing up. Because as a teenager, I was depressed, and at 13, I did try to commit suicide. So I had issues. So in Namibia, through family foundations, we had started to go through that healing process, and they gave us mechanisms. So when this thing happened, I was able to go back to some of the things that I was taught.
framework.
I had a framework to work with, and I learned to find meaning in the situation. And then I didn't suffer in silence, because the very moment I got the email, my best friend was with me. Then the others took me under their wings. And coming back from Namibia, I'd set up what I call my social support system. And so I had in it counselors. Reverend Dunbar was in it. Reverend Courtney Richards, he's a psychologist. And so my pastor, so I have a tight network. And so that really aided in my healing. And when I felt bad, it was a dark night of my soul, as I termed it then. I reached out on Facebook. I reached out via email, and I said, help. I'm losing it, help. And I remember I dedicated this book to Reverend Courtney Richards. We call him Pops. He's a psychologist. And I said, Pops, I don't feel as if I can go on. And he prayed a prayer for me of healing. And he reminded me that I am beautiful. And he said, you are loved, prized, and valued.
Wow.
And those words sustained me and became the theme of this book, that I am loved, prized, and valued. Because when you go through something like that, rejection activates the same pain centers in the brain as if you were physically wounded. So you're actually feeling a wound. And because I had the support system, it really helped me to stand tall.
I love that. They spoke life into you and
Yes.
your situation. So were you embarrassed sharing that story or situation publicly?
In the beginning, like I said, my Facebook was painted red. So I took a stance after that if I'm getting involved, maybe it's fear with anybody, that nobody's going to know.
But hold on.
Because of the embarrassment,
I know.
like Miss Kitty,
Yes.
we're going to move in silence and just
Incognito.
and just spring it on them.
I know a lot of ladies are listening, and I know you said heartbreak twice. And before we get to the book, I want to find out from you, what would you say are the most challenging aspects, in dealing with heartbreak?
Well, part of it is that it affects your sense of identity. So your self-worth. Jim Rohn, a famous business philosopher, that really, his teachings also helped me. He talked about that the understanding of self-worth is the beginning of progress. And so your sense of value, and you're getting older, because I was 33 at the time. And so you're wondering, is this thing really going to happen for me? Mm-hmm. And so it affects your sense of self-worth and value. And it took me a long time to really come back into my own, to feel that I'm beautiful, to feel that I'm enough, that I'm worth it, So yeah, it really does chip away at that. I remember there was a former member of my church. And one day he reached out on the phone and he was like, you need to come in for deliverance and all kind of stuff. So people don't understand it, because this wasn't the first time. So, you're under a curse or something. And I just didn't listen to him. But part of the thing is that when you're not whole, when you don't understand your sense of value, you tend to attract people who are going to treat you the very same way. Wow. So I didn't have high self-esteem, and I didn't allow myself to be treated like the queen that I am. I didn't see myself as that. I have a friend, Curtis, he always calls me princess. And I never saw myself as that. I never saw myself as beautiful. I never saw myself as worthy. And so you tend to attract
People who think it's
from
like a
where you
mirror.
are.
Yeah.
And so you're treated like that. Of course, there are beautiful women who sometimes get that kind of treatment. But I know for me, definitely, it was about an issue of worth.
So tell us, Lady Ruth, at what point, what was the turning point for you? When did you decide that, okay, I'm done with the pity party? It happened twice, and I'm not gonna let this thing hold me down or, stop my life from going forward. What was that turning point for you?
It was about April 29, 2014. I was praying and also listening to a sermon by John Piper where it says, don't waste your pain. And then I remembered a quote from my childhood, a book I read, and it said, endurance is not just the ability to bear a hard thing, but to turn it into glory. That's by William Barclay. And I just knew instantaneously how I was going to turn this thing into glory. And I knew I needed to write. And that was the turning point. And I reached out again because I have a circle to my mentor. And he said, maybe God is asking you to do this because writing is therapeutic. And then maybe you can understand the story of the women in Scripture and what they've been through. And you can shed new light on that. And so I just started writing like crazy. And within 11 days, I had a manuscript of almost 68,000 words. And then it took 9 months after that to give birth to it because I had to go through, the doubts and the questions. So that was the turning point, and that has become my life quote. So it's about turning the situation, turning the shame into something glorious. And that's what I did, and out of it came a business and all kind of stuff. I have developed a saying that painful journeys can lead to beautiful destinations if you can find God's purpose in it. And that's what happened for me.
Well, did you inform him that you were going to publish a book? And did he reach out after you published the book? Like, what did she do now?
That's an excellent question. That's really an excellent question. So, because it's a memoir and it involves other persons, I chose in certain parts to use pseudonyms. And I did reach out and say I'm writing a book, but I didn't have much of a dialogue with him. I think years later, Reverend Dunbar met him, presented the book and said, "You're XYZ."
And
And in case you didn't know, that's you in the book. So I didn't. As a matter of fact, I think when he came back to Jamaica and wanted to see me, I really didn't want to see him.
Oh.
So it took me a while if I were to see him now, I'd be fine because I'm glad it didn't work out. I just know that wasn't what was meant to be for me, because had it not happened, I wouldn't have the life I now have, the lessons I have learned. And so I don't say this because I'm on a show, but I'm glad it didn't work out, because that was a catalyst for what I have today and the lessons learned. My life would have been far different.
That's true.
So, 2 heartbreaks later, and you are so fulfilled now. What's your perspective on finding love again?
Well, the truth is, the Lord led me on a moratorium from relationships for my own healing. So around 6 years in, I remember my eye caught somebody. My eye caught somebody, and I was scared out of my wits. And I was like, I'm not going to do this again, because happily single, part of the happily single too is because you don't have to deal with it again. And I really enjoy that season of singleness. I don't have to account to anybody. I don't have to think about how I dress, how I look, and to respond to anybody. The freedom in singleness. And so I had closed off. I would dream I would be getting married and I would wake up angry. Oh. So I went from one extreme to the other. And then because I've just been going through reading books and praying and doing that stuff, this new, what would I call it? Finding myself attracted to somebody else after 6 years. And I was like, oh, where does that come from? Because I had closed off. It was like a trauma trigger. So there are stages of healing. And I had to go through therapy. And I was like, people would be saying, you're going to get married and that kind of thing. And I wouldn't want to hear it. So I was closed off because I said, man of crosses.
Oh my goodness.
And so I went to the other extreme, and through therapy and everything, I was able to say, do you want to get married? And I said to the Lord, the door kind of cracked, So I'm open to love again.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what can you share with other persons who are watching at the moment and they're probably going through the same thing? Any insights that you can leave with them at the moment?
Give yourself time. And don't suffer in silence. Right? So you really have to check deep within, because one of the things that this broken relationship did for me, it helped me to understand myself better, because there are many of us that are walking around with childhood wounds and different things. And so this was like, what they said, the straw that broke the camel's back. So it became a catalyst for me to get the healing that I needed, because hadn't I experienced that heartbreak, I wouldn't have looked into myself to say there are issues that are resident that I need to deal with. And so I want them to not see themselves as damaged goods, because there's a Japanese proverb. It's a Japanese thing. It's called kintsugi. When they are rebuilding a pot, it's a pottery technique that they take the broken pieces, and when they put it back together, it's more beautiful for having been broken. And so I want you to understand that out of this, something beautiful can emerge. Get the counseling, get the therapy. Take your time. Don't let anybody rush you back into anything. But there is hope. I met persons along the way they had broken engagements, and today they are married again. And so,
Out of
there's
something broken, something beautiful can be made. Kamika, you're such a strong person, and I want to thank you for sharing that with us. Sometimes the experiences, the scars we get in life, they're only to shape us, and you're the embodiment of purpose with pain. And so, I just really want to big you up. Allow God to continue to process you. It's 10 years, you're still going through, you're still learning, and you are sharing and using your story for His glory.
Amen.
So thank you.
Yes.
thank you so much.
I would also like to present you with a gift from Ooh La La. It's a candle package, and I think it will soothe your mind. So we have that little gift for you.
We admire your courage in sharing your story and your journey with us. But before we go further, we want to hear what Doc has to say on this topic. Let us take the time now to welcome Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar for Doc Says. Bishop, welcome.
Hi, Kamika. It's been a while. I'm telling you, there's no disappointment in God, don't it? No disappointment in God. I mean, having your heart broken is no fun, much less to have it broken twice.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of your life. That's what Kamika is sharing. It's not the end of your life just because it's the end of a relationship. And as you heard, the purpose that comes out of the pain. So I would just want to say to the single persons who are out there, just be more self-aware. If you understand your God-given and even learned attributes, if you know what those are and you are accepting of who you are as a person, you heard Ruth say that, when it happened, she started to question her Black beauty, right? And then, the whole bleaching phenomenon and everything. And so if you are more self-accepting, and more self-aware and just being more mindful of who you are as a child of God, and understanding that this is not the end of your life, it's just the end of a part of the chapters that makes up your story. So you accept that, that it happened, and you let it go. You take your time and you move on with your support system. You heard what Ruth said. She had an inner circle. So that's a good support system. And then now you focus on building your best self after you have broken off whatever the relationship is. And just to know that God wants you to know that he's right there beside you and that he'll show you a way through it. It's so good to be able to trust God. So Ruth, your story for God's glory. Yeah, your story for God's glory, purpose in your pain. No disappointment in God. Like you said, had it not been that this was broken off, you would have not pivoted into the awesomeness of your gifting and your talents and your purpose. So again, your story for his glory.
And thank you so much, Doc. Someone fresh going through this now. Fresh, as a family therapist, somebody who just recently got their heart broken, what would you say to them right now?
First of all, you are not the first person. Because sometimes when things happen to us that impacts us psychologically, we think we're the only person in the world going through this particular thing. Understand that there are other persons who are out there. You are not alone in this. I know a broken relationship is just like the loss of a loved one. So it's a loss of a relationship. You're going to be saddened. You're going to be shocked. The betrayal, the rejection, all of those things. Take your time. There's no deadline as to the process of your grieving. Take your time and heal. Yes, and while you are healing, you're thinking about all the possibilities that is out there. You heard Ruth. There's a window. You can love again.
Love that. Doc, thank you so much for sharing with us. As always, we appreciate your input. Lady Ruth, look here, we know your story is definitely a ministry that others can benefit from. And we know you're not done with us yet because you have more to share. But for our viewing and our listening audience, if you want to hear more from Dr. Carla Dunbar, Reverend Dr. Carla Dunbar, please follow her on Instagram and Facebook at Carla Dunbar Ministries. Stay tuned to see what's coming up next inside Women Up.
Yes. To our Biz Spotlight.
So you see the money flowing from
Then, our host and co-hosts get down to fun and games with the Just Dweet challenge of the day. And of course, our takeaways, or as we call them, notable nuggets. It's time for Biz Spotlight, the segment where we feature a business and learn about their products and services. You heard from her just now, and she's here to tell us about the relaunch of her Entrepreneur Secret Academy, which also includes the relaunching of the revised edition of the book, Entrepreneur Secrets.
So, Lady Ruth, what exactly is Entrepreneur Secrets all about? And tell us about the upcoming relaunch.
Thank you so much, Anya.
Yeah.
Well, Entrepreneur Secrets Academy is really an academy to help Caribbean authors to publish their books more cost effectively.
Okay.
And so self-publishing or publishing is expensive, and 95% of authors lose profit on their first book. And that happened to me. So it's another situation of turning your pain into glory. And so we offer courses, coaching programs, and a membership group to help you to move from idea to book to market in a more cost-effective manner. So it's a publishing, education, and training platform. The other thing that makes it different is that for far too long, the measure of success for books is just selling 1 million books. And people don't understand that a book is just a single product, but you can develop multiple income streams around it, and you can take the content from the book and create economic freedom faster from just merely selling the book. So I teach persons how to leverage the book as a vehicle for their vision, to create economic freedom beyond just book sales. So that's what the Academy is all about.
Love that.
Listen, I'm always one for multiple streams of income. Money have to make, as Lady Cassandra would say. We want the monies, but I would like to know, how do we sign up for this course, and will it be virtual for persons who might not be able to attend in person?
It's all virtual.
Okay, great.
We had a soft launch during the COVID-19 pandemic in May 2020. And you can just go to entrepreneursecrets.com/academy. The membership group, that's $99 per month. We have a special program for 6 months to get you to publish your book for under $1,000 US. And if you want to take it up a notch higher, we have the Publishing Business Certification Program. That is a little bit more on the expensive side, but you get to actually publish a book in the process, not just learn theory, and then you get help to actually start your publishing business. And then we have free courses and some self-paced courses. So entrepreneursecrets.com/academy. And this is the revised book that you're going to get with it. So you see the money flowing from it.
Yes! I love that it's not just theory, but some practical aspect as well.
Yes,
Wow, wow.
yes. And you made mention that you made mention of the $99 for the membership. Okay, who should attend the launch, and is the book included in the launch?
All right. Yes. Excellent. You asked excellent questions, Anya. So what's happening? I'm having the Caribbean Entrepreneur Summit, where we're going to have authors from all over the world sharing, and I'm launching Vision 2030, in which I am seeking to raise up 10,000 entrepreneurs by 2030.
That's global.
And so this is the equipping tool, and we're seeking to get more authors on board. So the book will be launched as part of Vision 2030, which is part of the UN Sustainable Development Plan to eliminate or eradicate poverty. And so that's what is going to happen. So that's January 19 to 20. So the book, the Academy, and Vision 2030 will be launched in this free summit that you're going to learn to publish. You're going to hear the stories of persons who've been a part of the Academy. And we're going to have some summit giveaways, including copies of this book, but you have to come to the summit. Again, just go to entrepreneursecrets.com and sign up.
I was about to ask you, where could they go to get information, but I see that you have covered everything there.
I love the ability to make passive income. So, I'm all into this. So I will ensure that I register, because I have to be there. And she said that it's free. So how can you give up something, such a deal for free? That's a freemium for me, right? Thank you so much for joining us on set. We appreciate your time, your insight, and, giving us a little insight into what's to come.
Yes.
So ensure that, everybody register, because you can't get left out, because we heard it here first,
That's
right?
Exactly.
That's right.
So, if it is that you have a product or a service that you want us to review, ensure that you send over that information to hello@womengrowjm.com. Don't miss the beat. Ensure that you send the email now, so that you don't forget. All right, ladies, welcome to a segment we like to call the Just Dweet Challenge. And today's challenge is
The tongue twister challenge. The tongue twister challenge. We're gonna see who can angle the job. We're gonna see who can do this and get it done. All right. So I'm gonna go first. If you must cross a cow across a crowded cow crossing, cross the horse cow across the crowded cow crossing carefully. Whew. Hold on. All right, ready again. If you must cross a cow across a crowded cow crossing, cross the cow.
Okay, you're out, Anya.
All right. Who is next?
Due to me out from before me starting, because my one well long. But I'm gonna attempt it. Okay.
You can do this, guys.
How much wood? A woodchuck. If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
She needs to say it faster.
Yeah, I said
Come again.
How much wood would a wood if a wood chuck wood, he would chuck, and as much as he chuck and here chucking is going, Lisa, here chucking, yeah, and over to the Marley. Woo, my one is easy.
Watch us tell you.
Thank you very much. No, it's not so long. But I wish somebody could have given me one beat. So I could have start this.
No.
Ready?
No.
Ready? Ready? Let's go.
Ready, set, go.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? That can't work. Hey. Fuzzy Wuzzy
Producer,
was a bear.
producer, you have
Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy
But that's
Wuzzy
recall.
was fuzzy,
This
was
can't work.
Producer, our producer. I believe our
producer,
producer
you're
is
faulty.
unfair.
Moving.
All right, no, I don't go yet still, but I don't really feel so hopeful because I believe our producer is really unfair, and I'm going to pray for her later.
Thank you,
all right, so I'm going to try this now.
It's your time.
Ready? You got this. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my butter, it will make my butter bitter. Butter better. One more time.
Almost got it. You're on a roll.
One more time. 1, 2, 3. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my butter, it will make my butter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my butter better. So twice Betty better butter. Be done.
She did a good job, though.
I know,
She did a
but
good
she's
job.
wicked.
Can somebody give me my crown?
No.
yours
Because
was
I'm the
too
winner.
slow.
Kenisha, I'm thinking I'm agreeing with you about your producer because Damali was so short, but Damali looked like she memorized it.
Slow, said couldn't count.
Good try.
Good try. So who? This is tongues. This is Ralbaba Shapa. This is tongues. So who won, Bishop? Who won?
Me.
Who did the best?
Bishop, you don't answer.
Fuzzy,
Because
Bishop, who
everybody
won?
knows. Fuzzy, was he? No. Well,
Bishop, who won?
Damali got it.
Rigged.
I am the champion, my friend.
As Kingdom people, we're going to celebrate her. Well done, Marley. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, my tongue cast right now. So, now it's time for our notable nuggets. What did you learn from the story shared today? Your story may differ from Ruth, but let me encourage you to. Psalm 56 verse 8 says, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book." This verse reminds us that God is aware of our pain and records our sorrows, and it offers empathy and care from our good Father. Receive this word in your spirit, knowing your latter shall be greater. Jeremiah 29 verses 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse speaks to God's loving intentions for our lives and the hope He provides. Today, listening to this story, my nugget was, if you're going through something like this, don't suffer in silence. Go to your village.
Yeah, I love that.
What about you, Anil?
I love that. What stood out for me, don't waste your pain. From Ruth's pain came books, came businesses.
Yes.
So there is purpose in that pain. So don't waste it. Nothing is ever wasted in God. I think Bishop touched on it too. There's no disappointment in God. Nothing is ever wasted in God.
True.
There is purpose in all of it.
My nugget from today was that you can enjoy your singleness. From Ruth's story, I love how in her season of singleness, she was complete and she enjoyed that time in her singleness.
Love that.
For me, nothing that we go through will be wasted, and that God does not make mistakes.
Love that.
Come on, let's all assume our power pose to exude confidence and power as we share the Women Grow Global Manifesto to motivate, challenge, and uplift your mindset.
I am a woman of purpose, value, and worth.
I chase after my dreams and goals with intentionality. I make a plan for my life to become a better version of myself daily, and I improve all areas of my life with balance.
I execute all tasks in excellence.
I understand that every gift, talent, resource, or skill that I have been blessed with came from the Almighty God.
I live a life filled with gratitude because of this.
I prioritize my physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental health,
so that I can function always at peak perfection.
I am a giver. I bless others.
I am a mentor. I teach and motivate others. God is the CEO of my life, my family, and my business. I am a woman growing globally.
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 We had so much fun today, and we really hope you enjoyed the show. A big thanks to our guest, to the entire WomenUP team, and to all our sponsors. We thank you for sticking and staying and watching with us.
Additionally, remember to follow us on all our pages. Remember, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can stay up to date with everything happening on WomenUP.
Thanks so much for joining us for this awesome episode of
WomenUP.
Be sure to check us out next Tuesday at 8 p.m. on YouTube for more WomenUP. Stay blessed. I am Kenisha.
Damarly.
Cassandra.
And Anya.
Bye!